I think for this episode we will go through another tournament event. And ultimately, I did think about doing the Class B tournament first with my Skyline SR, which is basically a modified version of the Ford Mustang SVT Cobra, and that's technically my favourite Ford Mustang, so that's why I bought this car in the first place. But I will now switch over to my Nissan Skyline, because I figure this is probably the time for me to get through the Class C tournament. And I will also change the main colour of this car, because I figure it's time for me to do so. And I will make this thing, I think this is supposed to be white. Yeah, I'll paint this thing white. And I will also change the vinyl as well, because I figure now is a good time for me to give this thing some notice regarding the manufacturer. And I will go with anything else? No. Fuck it, I'll put this one on, just because it stands out to me as being one of those creative vinyls, from what I know. And I will also change the colour of the vinyls as well. I'll make those black, and I think that's pretty much everything from what I know. I don't really think I need any more sponsors on this thing, and I think just because... Oh, I already have the dub badge installed. Well, might as well install one on the side as well, just whilst I'm here, because why not? Okay, I think that's pretty much everything we need now. This is my Nissan SkylineGT-R, and this is the car which I will be using for the next tournament here in Tokyo. Excuse me. I just had breakfast.
That is classic, Yankee.
And so, I will now head over to my next tournament event, which is just up here. And coming into this episode, I was 46% complete with the game. So, we are just 4% away from reaching 50% progress in the Tokyo Challenge. And this is for Class C vehicles only, and where, if we can win this, we will get a Nissan Sport Concept. And where, if we can win this event, we will win the Nissan Sport Concept. And of course, gonna do that. Although I don't really need to set it because I'm just outside of the event anyway, but whatever. It's okay. Let's get through the Asakusa tournament as we begin with the circuit race. This is either going to be quite simple, or it's going to be quite hard. Before we continue, I might as well have some water whilst I'm here, because my throat is a bit jumpy at the moment. I think my problem has been resolved now, so let's go. As we have some Nissan Skylines in the field, and we also have, I think, 2 Dodge Vipers in the field as well. So I think I know precisely what my competition is here, as I immediately run into a car. But we shall see how we go. And hopefully, if it's possible, I can stay out of trouble long enough to win this one. Even though I might have to restart a few times to eventually get there, but hey ho, let's get ourselves moving. And hope that we can be successful. I got a little bit loose there on the landing, but I did manage to make a correction. And now as a result, I have now taken the lead. And already sliding up the inside. And I am nowhere to be seen right now. Or I was before that happened, as it helped me to get back on the road. And now I retake the lead. Ironically, on a circuit I've never driven before, but I am now back in the lead of race 1, as we now begin the second lap here at Airborne. And had a terrible corner entry there, but still able to maintain my lead. I can certainly say this is probably the best choice I could have made out of all the Class C options I could have chosen. I know I have made one of the best decisions I could. Now I just have to hope I don't slam into everything head on. And, no, still a little low on the exit of the landing, but still able to at least maintain my composure long enough to at least have a fighting chance. And I am going to follow the road around this time because I'm probably faster by doing this. And at the moment, I'm actually doing quite well, because I'm not having to use up my nitrous shots. And turned a little bit early there in that left-hander, but still able to come away with the win regardless. And I start this off with a win, and results don't matter until I get to the end of the third race. There were 5 of us in this. So, let's see how we do. Is that all of us? I think that might be all of us. Okay, moving on. Oh, it was Zan who finished in last. Okay.
Alright, friend, don't be getting no big head now. Keep your feet on the ground.
Well, let's now move on to race number 2. As we are now doing high road. I think what that means is we're going to be going up onto the freeway. But anyway, starting off at the Tokyo docks. So, we'll see how we go. Okay, that's our course map. I will likely not be winning this first try if I make too many mistakes, but if I can manage to keep myself on the road long enough and keep up with the AI for long enough, then I think I should be okay. And not using my nitrous yet, it's a little bit too risky for me to try that right now, but I am of course willing to try as always. If I can get a strong result here, then that's pretty much all I care about. I would like to get at least 2 wins on the board if possible. I knew that wasn't going to last. I kind of knew I wasn't going to stay on the road for that long. But it's okay, because I'm not too far behind my nearest competition. And before I miss the turn-off, I will do that. And at the moment, I'd say we're doing alright. As we're heading around in a spiral. And now using my nitrous at the right time and on the brakes as I head past the Tokyo Tower, and I now have just one checkpoint to go, and hey, I win first try. That is good. Now I just need to get through race number 3, and then we should be good. Whatever, moving on. We have 2 ties.
I told you they were all fakers.
Well, we got 2 races to go now. So our first one is Wharf Docks, and as to what the other one is, well, I don't know about that. And my throat is not in the position I want it to be in at the moment. And of course I do apologise if you hear me coughing into the microphone, but nonetheless... Oh shit! Oh fuck me, okay. How did I not slam into that bridge? I'm pretty sure that should have killed me, but it somehow didn't. Never mind. I basically just killed myself. Oh well. Let's try this again. And I am not doing very well at the moment. There's always going to be chaos every time it rains. There's just no escaping it. Every time it rains, there's just going to be guaranteed chaos. Regardless of how hard you try to look away from it. It's just impossible to avoid. Unless you can somehow make yourself the Rain Master. Well, at least I still have a fair number of checkpoints to go. So, we're not out of the woods yet. I don't think. And using zone again, because if I don't, I'll go straight into that building, which is what I don't want. And what do you know, I run straight into a car. Well, at least I can say the field is close together. So, I still have a chance. A slim one, but still a chance nonetheless. As long as I don't run into everything. Fucking rain, man. It's a fucking lunatic is what it is. I hate it. I just single-handedly hate it every single time it happens. It's fucking bullshit that you can never seem to avoid, even if you try to avoid the torture, it will just continue to torture you anyway, because that's what rain does in this game. It just provides you continual torture unless you can manage to somehow come out of it. Oh my god, am I actually gonna win this? Holy fucking Christ, I actually pulled it off. Right at the finish, I physically pulled it off. I really thought for sure I was gonna be at least third by the end of that one, but I somehow pulled it off at the end. unbelievable. And I did it by less than a second, no less. Anyway, these are your point standings, as I am double the points of second place. I have 24 points. Yuta has 12 points. Kanta has 11 points. And we have a tie for fourth between both Zan and Daisuke.
Alright, you just schooled them Tokyo fools.
You know what? I'll record it at the last race, because we only have one to go. And it's another ordered race, and we are doing Ginza Stop. I don't think this is going to be a clean sweep, but at least I have a shot of potentially getting this right, as long as I don't run into everything. I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep, but I at least know that I am in a good enough position to very much be the champion-elect now, from what I know. Because I am literally double the points of second place. And needing to track down my target as I run into a car by mistake. And luckily, I do take the correct road off the freeway. And now, I'm just hopeful in saying that everything will be alright. Even though those will probably be my famous last words. But whatever. As long as I have a chance, that's all I care about. And already I run into a car. Which probably doesn't surprise me. Okay, there is my exit point. I will not miss it. Now, since I know it's a dry race, the odds of chaos happening should be a bit less so compared to before. So, I have got a shot of making the clean sweep at least. And okay, no shortcuts here. I just have to take the junctions, and yep, that did not work out. But it's okay, because my next point is on the freeway. Yep, okay. Everything is happening all at once now. Okay. Just gotta hold on, and on the brakes a little bit, basically dabbing the brakes there so I can make it through, and I think we only have a few checkpoints to go now. So, okay, we have just one checkpoint left, using my last bit of nitrous before that car wrecks me, and clean sweep in the Asakusa tournament, as I beat Zan to the line. Then we had Yuta finishing third. So these are your race results. I win by 5.1 seconds, flat, over Zan. Yuta finishes third. Then we had Daisuke in fourth, and Kanta finishes in fifth. I will need some more water just for a second. Okay. Now, where was I? You know what, I'm just gonna go and sort my throat out for a moment. It's not wanting to stay in place. I'll be right back. We have achieved the clean sweep in the Asakusa tournament using my pearlescent white Nissan Skyline GT-R. And I am double the points of Yuta. Zan then finished in 3rd, Kanta 4th, and Daisuke finishes in 5th, and last with just 10 points. 32, 16, 14, 12, and 10 are your final point scores for the Asakusa tournament.
Don't be getting all arrogant on me now. I hate arrogance.
Tomoda, have I ever been arrogant on you? Anyway, so we are now up to 249,500 credits. And now we have got the Nissan Sport Concept, which means I am now just one vehicle away from hitting the vehicle cap, which means I have got to sell some vehicles after the next episode. But we now have the Nissan Sport Concept. And before we continue, I might as well get a replay, just because I figure it's necessary for me to do so with these Nissan Skylines and Dodge Vipers. As of which we had 2 Dodge Vipers and 2 Nissan Skylines as our opponents in this tournament. And I basically ended this off in the best way possible. I now have no questions in saying that the Skyline GT-R is clearly the best Class C car, in my opinion. And this event, I think, definitely proved it, because although there were curveballs in between that could have stopped me from getting the clean sweep, I did manage to persevere, and it's fair to say this car probably had a lot to do with that. But nonetheless, I did get it done with my Nissan Skyline GT-R V-Spec R34. A true racing icon, basically winning in true Nissan Skyline fashion by dominating the whole series, more or less. At least I think that's what the case is, but anyway, yeah. You know, there is that. So, that is what we shall be doing. Yeah, not really at my best in that one section of road, but everything else, I'd say we went alright. And I can definitely say this thing looks good with the customization I've given it. I also haven't overdone it either, which helps out as well. I also think this is probably the same car I ended off Need for Speed Underground with, if I'm not mistaken. That could just be me, but I do seem to recall this being the car where I physically ended Need for Speed Underground with, even though it's not quite the same car because, well, it's not with the same features that I had, but you know what I mean. Anyway, let's move on. And so, as a result of us winning the Asakusa tournament, we are now halfway there with the Tokyo Challenge mode, which means that one tournament alone was worth 4%. Basically, all 4 races being worth what I think is the equivalent of 1% each. But there we are. We are now 50% complete with the Tokyo Challenge mode. And I think what we're going to do next is we'll do the... Actually no. let's do some more Tokyo racing first, and then we'll get on with the Wharf tournament. But before then, I will have to showcase the car I won, because I am not showing the vehicle unlock scenes in these episodes anymore because of copyrights. Because, well, copyright claims are a bitch, and I am convinced in saying there is a limit which I probably cannot afford to break. So, quite ironic to say that I did a class tournament with a Nissan, and then basically the next car I wind up winning, in pure happenstance, turns out to be another Nissan. But this time it is the Nissan Sport Concept, which I can definitely say is a good looking concept car in my opinion. This actually looks quite cool and sleek, if I do say so myself. And now we are just one vehicle away from the vehicle cap, which is 30 vehicles, and yes, as much as I really want to keep some of these cars, I am gonna have to sell a few of these cars as well, so I have enough room to go through the garage. But anyway, I will now switch over to my Celine SR, because I want to do some more practice racing with this thing before getting on with the Class B tournament. So, that's what we'll be doing next. So that'll do it for this episode, and I will see you all in the next episode.